Okay, UFC 318 is in a couple of days, and like most of you know, the main event is Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. The rest of the card is not really that great, so I'm not going to break down the rest of the card, which can be the main event. At the end, I'll give some quick picks, maybe maybe a minute for some fights that are worth talking about. But most of this is going to be dedicated to Holloway and Poirier 3. So, last fight for both guys, Max just got knocked out by Ilya, and Islam just beat Poirier in Poirier's last fight to anything. So both these guys just lost to the two best fighters in the world, and they both had good performances against those respective opponents. So it goes to show these guys aren't done, or aren't washed in any way whatsoever. Unless people want to call Max washed for getting knocked out by Ilya. Stupid statement. It is Poirier's retirement fight though, so he's just, I don't know, it's weird when these guys know they're retiring going into the fight to see how they're going to perform, if they're going to leave it all on the line, or you can have an anti-type performance and just quit, but we know Poirier's not going to do that. Point is up 2-0 as the guys in their previous two fights, but the first one being 12 years ago, I'm pretty sure, something along those lines, 13 years ago maybe, and then their last fight going in 2019. Just rewatched that fight, and I'm picking Max to win this fight, by the way. You may ask why I'm picking Max if he's down 2-0 with Poirier. That's because you watch that second fight between these two, and it's very close. The judges scored it 4-1, all the judges scored it 4-1 Poirier. I think that's a bit weak, but it's a very close fight. Max's volume really did wane on Poirier, and Poirier's landing bigger shots and having bigger moments throughout the fight. But all in all, Max showed that fight on short notice, didn't look great, and since then, he's just continually kept on leveling up. Since that fight, we saw him win it one, lose one, and he had a whole Volkanovski saga, and throughout that Volkanovski saga, he got better. Then after losing to Volkanovski for the third time, he leveled up again, where he got to the Gaethje fight, and the Gaethje performance, which was incredible. And then he just got knocked out by Ilya back in October. Although he just got knocked out, he looked so good on the feet in that fight. He went toe-to-toe with Ilya Poirier, who we all consider now one of the two best fighters in the world, the new lightweight champion, just knocked out Oliveira. And between Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira, the three last opponents of Poirier, Holloway looked the best of any. He arguably took 2 rounds off Ilya, just kept the volume and picking and prodding on the outside. It really looked good in Holloway's game. That's part of his game that's leveled up. That big reason why I think he can beat Poirier, because if you look at the Gaethje with the Poirier fight, you're seeing Holloway jabbing outside, kicking the outside, uses kicks a lot better. Whereas when he fought Poirier back in 2019, primarily generally just a boxer. He was still combinations with his hands, throwing knee here and there, very little kicks. And Poirier was able to just go through that, just counter the shots, counter the volume of Max. Max not let him do that, but Max gave him the opportunity to do that because his game was so predicated on just boxing volume. Now with the kicks, now with just more movement overall in Max's game, I think he can just stay away from Poirier, just pick and prod the good shots. I think it's going to look a lot like the Gaethje fight. Holloway, in my opinion. Something that does scare me with this fight when picking Holloway is that, obviously he did just get knocked out, so we don't know how he's going to look after getting knocked out. You can only just, kind of have wishful thinking, and just in the case, just got knocked out, but he's moving back a weight class now. He's, bulked back up. There's more water in his brain. He's very hydrated now, so there should be a lesser chance of him being knocked out. And he's not fighting, the only guy he's ever been knocked out by has been one guy, it's Ilya Poirier, who knocks out everybody. So it's I can't put too much stock on that when it comes to Holloway, because he had the best performance against Ilya, and then he got knocked out by him. So does everyone. But he still looked really good in that fight. As for Poirier, I've been talking more about Holloway so far. Poirier looked good against Islam. Something that concerned me, he did get outstruck by defeat Islam's a good striker, don't get me wrong. But you can't be getting outstruck by, Makhachev and then just hop into a Holloway fight. And I know kind of the takedown played a big part in that, and all those things. But you're looking at it, you watch that fight, you see Islam throwing combinations, and as far as the third, the fourth shot of combinations land. No one does that better than Holloway in today's day and age of just striking in the UFC. I think Max can kind of have a Gaethje. I think it's going to be similar to the Gaethje fight. I think he can have the Gaethje game plan where he can chop and kick on the outside and then explode with a three-shot combination, four-shot combination. And that can just add up and just kind of just stay ahead of Poirier on the volume throughout this fight. And I just think he'll be able to stay ahead of the volume, essentially, when it comes to staying ahead of Poirier on the volume. Poirier will be looking for big counter shots, like he did in the second fight. He may get a couple, maybe stumble Max, maybe rock Max, which has happened before. But as far as putting him out, I don't think Dustin's on that same level of Ilya when it comes to just finishing ability. Like, yeah, I knocked out BSD. BSD walked through his hands by his waist and his chin out. He beat Chandler. Like, he's finishing Chandler, BSD, McGregor. Whereas he's losing the guys like Oliveira, Gaethje, Makhachev, nice going Holloway. It's like, where does Holloway place in that kind of like group of guys? Does he place more so instead of guys like BSD and Chandler, or more so to Oliveira and Gaethje and Makhachev? Yeah, I just think it's going to be a fun fight, right? Like, you look over at the numbers, like, we've seen this happen. We've seen these guys fight before. We know it's going to be high volume. We know what to expect. It's just, I think Max has leveled up more since their last fight than Poirier has. Whereas Poirier's probably declined a little bit. Just like, just a bit, just like a competitive fight with Islam. And, getting wins since that last fight. But you just see a difference in how a fighter looks. Comes to Max in the last fight. Back to 2019, Poirier. Like, Max looks like I don't want to say a completely different fighter, but the silhouette, if you think of the silhouette, it's not the same. Max throws, like I said, he throws a lot more kicks now. He throws a lot more body kicks, leg kicks. He throws some head kicks up there. He stands with more of a tie stance now compared to a boxing stance. So that front leg, which has been so susceptible to leg kicks throughout his career, is lighter. I just, Poirier's been throwing big leg kicks and you're looking to counter. And, land boxing combinations, which is very similar to what Gaethje tried to do against Holloway. And you saw what Holloway did to that. I just think this is it's just a match for Holloway to win, right? Like, it's a fight where Poirier's going to go out there, look good, which is retirement fights and go from a war and lose a decision. Maybe he could finish, But I think the match itself in 2025 it's Max's matchup. So I'm going to say Max Holloway wins this fight by probably a 4-1, maybe 3-2. One judge gives it a 3-2. So 4-9-46, 47 decision. And it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a fight of the night. They're going to give out the bonuses to these guys. Like, I think I've seen this, And Max can't go down 3-2 fighters. Like, that can't happen. So I think Max wins by staying on the outside, chopping, low kicking, doing those combinations, catching Poirier on the third, fourth shot, and just, looking like he's been looking over the past few years, which is just like one of the best strikers in the UFC. Whereas I don't think Poirier has looked like that. Just for some other notable fights on the card, I'd give a quick take on. Costa and Kopylov. I think the odds are too wide for this one. I don't think Kopylov's that much better than Costa, but Costa will probably win that decision. Costa doesn't have enough output for it, and Kopylov will probably just kick and prod on the outside and land some good shots here and there to just win the fight. I can almost submit Dana Rodriguez. Holland always beats up on old welterweights. He's got a matchup like that, so he's going to do it again. I think Ige can beat Pitbull. I think Pitbull is just not really top 15 caliber at this point in his career. And you guys just beat Sean Woodson, impressive win. I think he could go out there and beat Pitbull. Gozo Huber in this one. The card's not great, right? But Gozo Huber in this one. This right spend most of the time talking about the main event. And then these last two talk about Vinicius Oliveira is going to wear on Phillips and just kind of drag him to a dogfight and beat him that way. And Brendan Allen's going to beat Vettori because there's more to his game than Vettori. Vettori's last performance was just awful. And Allen's, is having closer fights with better competition. Just quick summary of just when I just gave down there. I'm going to go Allen by decision, Oliveira by decision, probably Huber by decision, Ige by maybe a knockout, Holland by submission, Kopylov by decision, Holloway by decision. Reason, like I said, for Max winning, staying on the outside, being more dynamic now as a striker, kind of just outdoing Poirier over the course of 25 minutes. But yeah, I'll give my recap and next fights take after this card, probably on Sunday or Monday. And yeah, it should be entertaining. It's just not a card worth giving, 35-40 minutes to put down. But it's going to be entertaining nonetheless. So I'll catch you guys in the recap. See you later.